I spent years living all the way in the box, afraid to step out, afraid to truly grab hold of my dream. And now I am breaking through, and I invite you to join me.
Your breakthrough starts now. Coming up on today's show, get ready to be inspired and transformed with our featured guests. Find out what's trending and get advice on life's daily challenges with Erica's top tips of the day. All of this and so much more coming up. So stay tuned. This is your one-stop shop for inspiration. The Erica Latrice Show. And now, here's your host, Erica.
Woo woo! I need y'all to clap it up in the comments section. This is the official first ever Erica Latrice Show, all the way live stream. So if you are on live right now, you have an opportunity to join the conversation. I have some guests waiting backstage. Y'all, I'm I'm going to explode. I even saved my coffee. Shout out to Swig. Someone tag Swig. They need to sponsor this show because I keep advertising them. But I had my coffee. I waited until 2 to drink it just so I can feel cafe-ish. So we have so many guests on today's show. We are just going in with some really good topics. Special guest today in the Be Inspired Cafe, we have Julius Witherspoon and his mother, Constance Witherspoon. What better way to come after Mother's Day than with a mother-son duo? We also will be hearing one of Julius's newest releases, music, and we do have our Real in the Street segment. I have a live guest on today, and we're going to be discussing some topics that have been trending, and it's kind of a change from what I typically talk about. I usually try to keep it super exciting and inspiring, but today I was inspired to keep it all the way real. So you will have an opportunity to share your questions of the day if you are on live. I have some giveaways. I have actually, if you're ready to get rid of the quarantine 15, I keep calling it that, but I hope no one's gained 15 pounds already. But you can get free passes to a studio taking place today, a virtual studio celebrating Mother's Day with Echo Royal Studios. So thank you, Echo, for sponsoring the giveaway for today. I will be handing out those passes, and one person backstage is actually going to get one today. So if this is inspiring you already, I haven't said anything, so you're lying if you say that. Even if it hasn't, fill up the comment section, show us some love, show some emojis, share this, tag someone, start a watch party, because we're getting in live. So today's topic is all about stepping out of your comfort zone and turning what can feel like tragedy, what can feel like stress, into an opportunity. And that's actually the theme for this entire week. So every guest that you're hearing from, you're going to find out how they've been able to pivot in the face of adversity and make something out of it. So I'm just going to share with you all 3 things today, and then we're jumping straight into our Be Inspired Cafe interview and our Real in the Streets. So 3 of the things that I just want to share with you today is that it's so important, number 1, to start writing down where you're at. So if you've ever had goals and you're trying to figure out, how do I get out of this comfort zone? Because sometimes our comfort zone can be extremely uncomfortable. And many of us are seeing that right now. Well, the first thing that I would challenge you to do is to put pen to paper, because one of the fastest ways that you can get out of your current situation, if you're trying to get out of it, or even up level your current situation, is by writing it down. And a lot of times when we are feeling overwhelmed or even stressed, it's tempting to just try to keep that next step in our head. But today, my first challenge, if you're watching live, I need you to throw this in the comment section. I am writing my vision. I'm writing my vision. And I want to share this with you today because this past weekend was actually a tough weekend for me. And if any of you have lost a parent, specifically a mom, I know people say around Mother's Day is the toughest time. But to be honest with you, it's been a challenge every day. And I found that over this weekend, one of the ways that I got through it is by implementing some of the tips. And I'm going to refer this book to you, How to Stop Worrying and Start Living Life. And this book helped me so much because I started implementing the things that I'm telling you right now without even realizing it. So the first thing is just getting an accurate picture of what has you concerned, what has you overwhelmed. Are you feeling stressed right now? And if you are, write it out. And while you're writing out what's stressing you, I want you to put right under that, what can I do about it? Is there something that's within your hands to actually do something about it? Because if you can do something about it, then just do it. If you can't, let it go, pray about it, release it, but do not allow it to keep you captive over time. The second thing that helped me tremendously getting through this weekend was staying active. And that sounds so simple. I was so busy this week, or I hate the word busy. I was so productive this weekend that I ended up not even realizing the things that were stressing me out. So ask yourself the question, how can I get active? If you're on live, write it in the comment section. The question, how can I get active? And then the final thing that I want to leave you with is to take action. Number 3, and I think this is like always my number 3, take action. We can know what to do. We can have all of the answers, but if we don't act on it, you're just sitting there. I like to call it like mental obesity, where we're like eating up all the knowledge, eating up all the tips, but we don't implement it, we don't exercise it, and that will cause you to stay stuck. So as promised, we're actually going to kick it off with our Real in the Streets panel. Now, if you want to join the discussion, it's going to be a really positive thing. So like no negative talk up in here, just keep it real. But I would invite you, if you're on live, I would invite you to join the conversation. I'm bringing up our special guests. I'm going to bring them up one by one onto the chopping block. And then we're going to get into today's topic. So if you are on in the comments and you have a question, you want to start, if you want to contribute to the conversation, now is your time to shine. So first up, I'm going to bring up Keith because he looks like he's ready to share. Welcome. Yes, welcome, Keith. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad to have you here. Before we get into the discussion, I want to take a second. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what prompted you to respond to the post that I put up today?
Sure. So a little about myself. I went graduate NC State political science degree. I work I work all over. I work for a ticketing company currently, and I travel all across the country. So it gives me an ability to talk with a lot of different people. In addition, I am on my 9th year of dialysis, but since I've been on dialysis, I've joined a lot of different groups. The most powerful one is the iPro group, which I'm on the board. And our mission is to make sure dialysis patients get good treatment, listen to their comments and concerns, and try to help the administrators figure out best ways to treat people. Also in that, I interact with a lot of different people, upper and lower. And I talk to a lot of people in our community about certain things. What prompted me to contact you about the message this morning is that's something that hits me directly, and I strangely see the divide on where people are lying on this issue. I speak out not only for the poor and disadvantaged, but I try to get my best to see the other side as well. So I'm interested in the conversation today.
I love it. All right, we're bringing up Aaron next. So thank you, Keith. Aaron, congrats. Can we just all, if you're watching right now, throw some claps in the comment section. Aaron just was awarded for his hard work. He is an educator, and he does a phenomenal, I'm not biased at all, he does a phenomenal job. But Aaron, can you just introduce yourself and tell us what prompted you to come on today to discuss on the panel?
Yeah, as an educator, that's one great thing I love. I get to talk to all different types of students, all different races, all different religions, and we get to talk about these things in class. And so I really feel like it's important when something that's going on, what's happening in our world right now, is to speak against it, or speak out for it, because this is such an important topic to me. When I put this on my Facebook the other day, and then you messaged me, I am furious. I am upset. I think justice needs to happen, not just for Ahmaud, but for all the Black people since 2015 are being gunned down that are unarmed. It needs to change. Black lives do matter. I know that people will argue with me and say all lives matter, but your life is not being this happening to. So I'm speaking strongly for it, and I stand with my brothers and sisters, and I will be there at all costs, and I will fight it to the thing, and I don't care what it does with my career, but I will be there.
Listen, if you haven't joined the conversation yet, now would be a good time to tag a friend. Thank you, Aaron. I'm going to bring up next Brent. Folks, Brent has a few. Introduce yourself first, and if you could tell us why. And I thank you for being on the show today as well. What prompted you to accept the invitation to come on today?
No, thank you for having me. A little bit about myself: graduate of NC State. Go Wolfpack.
Yes.
Work in higher education, and what really prompted me is just seeing, not only am I triggered as a Black man, but also, I wrestle, sometimes with my identity as a Black man as well as a Christian. And so, being a Christian, you have to, wrestle with unpopular truths. And so, that the topic has allowed me to see, and really craft a perspective that will be unpopular. And so that is a trigger warning right now.
Yes, thank you, Brent. I mean, I'm loving all this Wolfpack love. If you can get down with the Wolfpack, kudos to you. I'm just going to send you an imaginary check. Okay, up next, we have Clinton Dunlap. And Clinton, I thank you for taking time to be on today's show. Can you tell us just a little bit about you and then also why you accepted the invite to be on the panel today?
Yeah, so great. Clinton Dunlap. I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. Grew up in the state of South Carolina. Firsthand, was able to see some great things about the state, but I don't want to, not be realistic about areas for improvement. I graduated from the College of Charleston with a business administration degree, volunteered with the basketball program. Even the College of Charleston, fast forward, I was able to look back and realize there was a real gap when it comes to diversity. I wasn't really aware of it because my friendships are just a lot more diverse than maybe some typical people in South Carolina. I would be looked at by white girls that were rich and be told, "Why do you act that way?" And I'm thinking, I'm not acting any type of way. I want to be myself, and almost, why are you driving a Range Rover at 17 or 18 years old? I was friends with your brother and still friends with your brother, able to meet your mother at an early point in my life. And my condolences again to her, but she was an example of diversity for a young person myself, and see an entrepreneur as well. And then you can see a reflection in yourself of what type of impact she's made. It was no brainer to be involved. It's been something that's always been on my mind. And I think that we're seeing a shift of people that have been on the sidelines wanting to step on the field. And now the next thing is going to be, how those people that are not on the sidelines, how do we get some of those people to actually take an interest in this?
Yes. So I'm going to bring everyone up that is on right now to discuss this. Now, the reason that I wanted to bring this topic up, and I think I couldn't have picked a better group of people to come on today, but the reason that I wanted to bring it up is because I'm really not, I know this feels like a news format. I'm not a newsy person because it can take a toll on you. Seeing all the negativity, seeing all the sadness, it can take a toll on you. But one of the things that I don't have the luxury to do is peel my skin off and ignore the things that many people face. And I see that a lot where I've heard people say, like, gosh, let it go. Stop pulling the race card. Stop bringing up, these topics. And my thought is always, I wish I could. I don't know about you all on this panel. I've had life experiences because of my diverse upbringing. Like Clinton said, he was borderline adopted into our family, like many other people. We were looking like the United Nations growing up. But I had instances where I had no choice but to be faced with my ethnic background because that was just life. So when I hear people say, like, just let it go, it sounds great on paper. Unfortunately, many of us are faced with circumstances that we have to face head on just by living. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because there has been a topic going around and I have not done my diligence in researching it, and I shared with you all why, but I know many of you had thoughts on this. So I would love to start. I would love to start with you, Keith. What do you know about Ahmaud, and what do you know about and what were your thoughts on the response, where we're now seeing articles coming out that are showing like surveillance and new videos and things coming out, something that had been ignored for months at this point?
So with from the case from what I understand, when it first happened, it was video shown of two white men fighting a black man, and a black man gets killed. And then the story comes out that they confronted him about, hey, you might have been a thief, et cetera, et cetera. At first, when you hear that, it is, why does he have to even respond to that? What business is it of theirs to stop him if he's walking down the street? They're not cops. Well, they used to be cops. You're still not a cop. I don't understand. Furthermore, when we, as more things came out, it came out that he walked into a construction site. Well, that to me just seems like trespassing at worst. That doesn't seem like you get to then kill him, or if you think he's going to steal. And plus, he's wearing like running stuff. What is he going to steal? It's not going to steal a 2x4 out of the back of his pants. But either way, it's when I travel and see it, and we don't travel a lot, but I do talk to people over the phone for my job. The ones who there's a lot of people who are outraged, and then there are some people who are like, well, I mean, I was concerned. I made what I thought a concerning thing to be. And I'm always like, wouldn't you think it'd be better just to call the cops instead? Because that's their job. It's just, I think in some of the people I've talked to, it's not that they don't care. It's just that they are blinded to how it works. They think that if they see something out the way, they have a right then to go up to you and say, what are you doing here? It's my job for me to prove who you are. And that, in my opinion, has like a historical context where that's something that we used to do all the time in this country. And now we're growing out of it, and people are getting fed up with it. So I'm not saying that you can't be inquisitive. I'm just saying there's a rule and list of things to do if you're really concerned. Other than that, just leave them alone. Yes. But we'll see how this turns out. Again, the tape couldn't have been more clear. And then the guy who released the tape thought it would do so to help out his friends, not anything else. And then I think the part that has the most outrage is this crime happened this long ago, and yet we're just now hearing about it, and things are just now being done. And in fact, those two gentlemen wouldn't have even been arrested if there wasn't an outcry.
So I want to jump in here, Keith, because I see Aaron nodding. I see Clinton nodding as well. I want to read. I'm not sure if Brent was disconnected. I'm going to read his comment, and if he's able to come back up, he can talk. Because again, I was very interested to hear this, because I feel like things need to be discussed, and not just discussed, but when we wrap up in a few seconds, literally, so we can bring on our Be Inspired Cafe guests. When we wrap up, I think there should be some type of action. And I think, Aaron, you alluded to that. So I'm just going to read Brent's comment. He said, I realize that my comment may be triggering, but sadly, to admit after reviewing the different circulation of videos, the McMichaels are innocent. People will dislike reading this, but a life was taken when some simple things could have been done by Ahmaud to avoid the confrontation. I find no joy in taking this stance, and I hate it. And I hate that Brent's not on right now, but we'll see if he can rejoin the conversation. But Aaron, I want to come from the standpoint too, and you said a lot, and I would encourage you all. I'll be sharing their social media handles if they're okay with it, so that you can connect with them. But Aaron, what do you think can be done? Because you are in the community and you are making a difference, even in the lives of, like, as you said, your students. What do you think we can do when we're seeing things like this happen?
Well, I didn't read that comment when what I heard just a minute ago, and I disagree with what he said. Not anything against him, because I'm also a Christian and I also believe in respecting everybody's views and stuff, but I don't agree with that. I don't think Ahmaud did anything wrong. We've all walked into an area where there's construction going on, and we weren't shot down. And these men got into a vehicle and went after him. It wasn't just like they confronted him and you're on my property and they shot him. So, and he was unarmed, and he was only 25 years old. And as you know, I've lost a mother, I've lost a brother, I've lost a lot of people. So when you lose a family member, it is heartbreaking. So that I can't even imagine what they're going through right now, because I've been through it. And you just cannot fathom the pain that you feel inside. So it outrages me. And here's the deal. We as a community need to come together. We as a community, from all different races, from students, because students have a huge voice and they don't always realize that. And they need to come together. We need to protest. We need to get our Senate involved. We need to get our local authorities involved. We need to get our local officers involved. Everybody come together, and we need to make some statements, whether it's our Instagrams, whether it's our Facebooks, whether it's our Snapchats, whether it's us going live like what you're doing right now or getting on a panel, or whether it's going out to the community and putting up signs and going to the news station. We have a duty, and this needs to stop. This has been going on for far too long, far too long, far too long.
I love it. I love, as you said, I think one key thing that you just said, Aaron, is coming together. So Clinton, I would love to know your thoughts. What do you feel, if you have experienced situations like this in the past and done something about it, what have you found to be effective, or what do you think moving forward people can do in these situations?
It's frustrating because I think the people that I think the people, are we talking about people doing differently as in people trying to go out there and solve justice like they're police officers, or the people that are getting accused?
We're going to leave the policing up to the police officers. My thought is really, and I see a lot of discussions like ours, but I really want to think too from an action standpoint, what can we do? And actually, I'm going to bring Brent on because I know he has to hop off in a second.
Yeah.
So I want you to marinate on that, Clinton. And Brent, can you share what were your thoughts too with what you shared?
No, thank you for having me. Like I said, wrestling with unpopular truths, is something that I had to do. And that was literally as of today. I'm a homeowner, right? And so based on everything, I watched this video. I saw, of course, the video that's circulating showing the killing, where prior to today, I pretty much said that was a modern day lynching. And then today, I see surveillance of a camera that shows Ahmaud walking, seeing the dwelling, that was being constructed. I saw him walk in through the garage, come out the garage, go into the front door, and I think he was inside the home for about 3 minutes. At that point, a homeowner from across the street came out and essentially just went to, talk, whether just say, hey, what are you doing? And at that point, Ahmaud starts running down the street full sprint. So if I'm a homeowner, if I'm the McMichaels, the law says that they can do a citizen arrest if they have immediate knowledge of a potential crime. It looks as if a crime has been committed because he's running. It's tough. Like I said, no one should have died. All Ahmaud had to do was talk to the homeowner. Hey, I like the house. I'm just checking it out.
Yes. And we have only a few minutes, and I know you have to hop off. I question you on this, Brent. I'm thankful that you were bold enough to come up here. I think of a couple of things immediately. We had devastation in Eastern North Carolina. I feel that you yourself and Aaron are familiar with what happened too with Hurricane Florence. People were going in and out of homes. My parents' home has been devastated. I've been in my parents' front yard where a neighbor has come and started yelling at me so they could walk their dog on my parents' property. So I think there's this underlying feeling right now where I know I don't feel safe. So I can only imagine how Ahmaud felt, because what you said sounds good. We'd like to think that you can just say, oh no, just checking out the baseboards without having your life threatened. I don't feel that we live in a community. I didn't even feel safe being in my own home. I've had people in my own home because I live in a neighborhood where I'm the only one that looks like me. And I've felt unsafe on my own doorstep. So that sounds good, but I definitely could understand just from my perspective why he would run off. I can understand it.
And Latrice, I'm in a relation, and I'm in an interracial relationship, and we still get talked about, and other people do. So there's still an underlying issue going on in America we have to solve.
Yes. What were you going to say, Brent?
I was going to say this, and I apologize that I have to run. Yes, I think the only issue is, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am a historical connoisseur. And the one thing about history is I know a lot about history, meaning I'm frustrated because I know our past. I know the progress that we've made. However, the progress, as Malcolm X said, is you can't push a knife 9 inches into my back and then pull it out 6, right? So I know that we've made progress. However, we still got a long way to go. I just look at it from a standpoint that if somebody's running in my neighborhood full speed, I'm going to question too, regardless of what color somebody is. Did they have to approach them? No. However, the law says that they can. So did they have to have their guns? No. The law says that they could have. So I just think that here's the thing: were the laws written for everyone? No. However, right now, today, if I have a home for sale in my neighborhood across the street from me. If somebody went over there unannounced, I know the homeowner. I know who owns the house. If somebody went over there and looked like they were doing trouble, guess what? I'm bringing my pistol and I'm gonna go over there and talk to them. So the same way that that homeowners were doing that, I'm going to do the same thing because the law says I can.
That is
I think the outrage part though for you is that.
So Clinton, can you chime in?
Yeah.
We have just a couple of minutes.
So yeah, I wasn't able to hear his commentary, but I can just speak from my experiences. I mean, you're asking, me, what can people do? And like, you can't change your color. Like, if you're black, you're black. You're walking in America. Let's take some steps back. I mean, how long ago was, Martin Luther King around? It's not been that long. People expect to tell you to get over things and things will be different. I took time to educate myself as much as I can. And there's a website called Southern Poverty Law Center, and they're tracking over 940 hate groups in the U.S. You go back in time, I think black people were referred to as 3/5 of a person. I've seen things or heard things in my family where, I think family lines, it'll get weeded out if we raise our kids the right way and, treat people on the basis of merit and not just try to judge someone and put them in a box. But we have hate that's out there. And I think the biggest thing is putting our attention on the cases that are clear. Ones like Eric Gardner, where he was choked to death on video. This incident or this case reminded me a lot of it, where you're watching a murder and you really have to ask yourself, did I really just see that? I think in today's world that we need to have people that look like me, but don't necessarily think like me, take an interest. People, they say, oh, the economy is good. Yeah, that means your wallet is doing well. Like, when you're going to start caring or make some type of impact in your life to help other people and admit that, maybe you didn't come from the same type of experiences or you didn't experience these things. We see people marching up to the Capitol right now in Raleigh, North Carolina, white people with guns, rocket launchers, assault rifles, because they feel oppressed probably for the first time in their damn life. Excuse my language. So look at them just pouting and would black people be in police officers' faces screaming and yelling like that with weapons? No, I don't think so. And I do think there's an element of people just feel like this will never change and it'll always be this way. And that's shared with people with a lot of different colors, I would say. And it's disheartening, but I think that's part of why we're here today, is because things are always going to be the same if you are stuck in that mindset. And it's hard. I can't say I sit in your shoes and know, it's a real challenge with my friends of color because I'm coming at this from a totally different angle. But there is hate out there. Let's be honest about it. When video is now around, we're able to see things. And I ask you this, what about all those stories 10, 15 years ago that were supposedly said and we didn't have the details? Well, I tell you what, it's looking like more than likely that there's people, well, it's not more than likely, there were people that have been prosecuted, thrown in jail, killed, all these different things, but there wasn't any video around. I caught wind of this story about Ahmaud maybe 2 weeks before the video came out and thought to myself, this sounds pretty bad. And with all the video and everything, it's not their role to go chase people down and be police officers, have those guns and all these different things. The last thing I will say, I think even recently there came out a picture of one of those individuals being affiliated with a racist group. So not 100% sure, wouldn't be surprised. But end of the day, you can't go out there and just, justice needs to be served. And the first thing I thought is, I'm passionate about civil rights, but this video was clear about an American issue. Yes. All Americans should be upset about this. Now, if you want to take it further and get involved in your community, and my idea, I'm trying to work on some ideas, is getting people to have better communications across the board together. The last thing I will say, the internet has shown a lot of people's true colors. A lot of times you'll see people's viewpoints, and some of these people that might not be racist, but fall into a certain category of ignorance, you'll look and see they don't have any friends of color. So I think we need to bridge the gap and start communications and opening up some segues for people to understand what it's like to be different.
Yes. So I'm going to stop you there. I promise I could talk to you all for so long about this because it's a needed discussion. What I'm going to do from here, I want to first say thank you, Clinton. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Brent, for coming on and sharing your thoughts. Right now, what I'm going to do, I'll be pulling up our next guest. But Clinton, Aaron, and Keith, if you can do me a favor, if you can find this video and share with us your social media links in the comment section for those that want to continue the conversation. And I just want to say a big thank you for taking time out to be on the show today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. So coming up, as promised, I have this guy was one of the first people to ever step onto this show with his music, and I'm going to bring him up, him and his mother, who has launched an entire movement right here in the face of adversity, where many people are shrinking back, many people are giving up, many people are sitting down, understandably. She has launched an entire movement. So welcome with me into the Be Inspired Cafe. So excited to have them here today, Julius and Constance Witherspoon. How are y'all doing today?
Oh, real good.
Doing good. Doing good.
Yes. Was it hard to kind of like hear that discussion and not get to chime in, or did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was definitely difficult. I was just sitting here like, you know what, let me just stay here in my own little bubble. But you have a weapon like music, you can, kind of say what you need to say in that. So that's my take on it. So.
Yes. And that's what I want to transition to. And as I was sharing, I know each of those that you heard from, they have all, as I've seen, actively done something. And I think with all of this, what it comes down to is, what are we called to do ourselves? And I already shared, I don't watch the news stories because that's not my gift. That's not my calling. I will take it to another level. But speaking of, that's what we're talking about today. Your gift will make room for you. And I believe that, Julius, as you just said, when we think about what can we do, one of the things that we can do is show up. We can get really clear on what God has called us to do and show up to just be the little glimmer of hope, that little glimmer of encouragement, that little glimmer of whatever you are supposed to gleam out. So we're going to play a snippet of your song. But before we bring that up, can you tell us, or we're going to share Depend. Can you tell us a little bit about this selection and how it came to be?
Okay. So, there was some things a couple of years ago that I went through personally in my life, and 2018 was kind of like one of those years for me, and then 2019 came, and it was just a simple prayer, God, like, this time I'm going to depend on you. And that song it was written in like a timely fashion around like 15-20 minutes, and so this is my message to God and to encourage the people out there who feel helpless, and just showing them a light they can depend on God. So.
I love that. And that's exactly what I feel is about to happen, because when you stay consistent, when you know what it is that you need to be doing, I say go do it. So we're going to hear a snippet of that, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how Constance literally, she didn't sit back, she walked it out. She launched an entire movement, which I'm so excited about. So let's take a listen to Julius's track.
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music, like old times. Look, now I'll start the melody on the organ.
Give me the words to say and I'll say it. Relay a song to me and I'll play it. 'Cause I feel a lot of pressure and expectations. I just want to exceed all my limitations. 'Cause if it's you that'll carry me through, I know that. And if you say that I am yours and I can trust you, I got you. I'ma depend on you. That's That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. With all of my beating heart, that's what it was made to do. That's what it was made to do. With all of my mind, that's what I'm strong for. That's what I'm strong for. I gotta depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. I'ma depend on you. Don't be afraid of men in their faces. Whatever's in your heart, I put there for you to say it. I know that you are tad afraid of expectations. Just as long as you're in me, there's no limitations. Cause if it's you that I'll carry through, just know that I got you. And if you say that I am yours, okay, look, okay, I got you. Cause I'ma depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. With all of my beating heart, that's what it was made to do. That's what it was made to do. All of my mind, that's what I'm strong for. That's what I'm strong for. I gotta depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made. Cause I'ma depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. With all of my beating heart, that's what it was made to do. That's what it was made to do. And with all of my mind, that's what I'm strong for. That's what I'm strong for. I'ma depend on you. That's what I was made to do. That's what I was made to do. Oh yes. You're the only one. You're the only one. You're the only one.
And thank you everyone for watching. I'll see y'all next year. That well done. Well done. Julius. I'm gonna come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you because I want to give you credit, but all glory goes to God and your mom because she's the one that raised you. No. But Constance, I want to start off. What is it? How does that feel? Seeing your child's gift being displayed, and it's been on a lot of platforms. How does that feel for you?
It feels great. It's a blessing. I don't take it lightly. I look at him, I know he's my son, but I just see him as another vessel being used by God. You know, it could be anybody. And you just appreciate the gift and the way he goes in, the way he goes hard. He works at what he does. He works at his craft. And he knows what he's supposed to be doing. And nobody can take that away from him. When you know what you're supposed to be doing, nobody can shake you. Nobody can redirect you. You know, you're going to have obstacles, but you know how to go around them. So it's just a blessing to be able to watch that, you know, to be a part of that.
Yes. So this is my question to you, Julius. I know a lot of times we get the vision. We see where we want to go. We see where we're being called to be. But sometimes our current circumstances don't always fit that narrative. So my question to you is this: has there been a time as I've been seeing the doors open. I'm going to talk about a few of the musical artists that I met at Essence, and it tripped me out because I'm like interviewing them and then going to take pictures. And I'm like, listen, they worked with Julius Witherspoon. Like, people are going crazy over them. I'm like, nah, like they worked with Julius. So have you ever had like a pinch me moment as you've been continuing to progress with your gift?
You know what's crazy? I oftentimes listen to Molly Music's interviews, and I heard your voice at Essence. I was like, yo, cousin.
Yes.
I was like, yo, that's fire. So I think the pinch me moment started, I think around 2014. I went to Charlotte and actually saw him perform. And I didn't even, it was like an out of body experience. Cause like when I went on stage, I feel like it was mine. And so like naturally it was just like, you know, rock it or whatever. Don't have no nerves. I didn't have any nerves. Everything just came out just naturally. But after I got off stage, I was just like, oh my God.
Right. Your mind has to, even how you said that with interviewing Molly Music. I think like my first pinch me moment, this is not about me, but I'm laughing because I remember even seeing him and I'm like, man, when I first met Julius, met him, we're related kind of. So related. So I'm like,
Yes,
I first
we
met
are.
you at birth, but no, but when I first got like a hint of your musical ability, you and your siblings, your mom, the whole family is talented. But what I was so impressed by was your drive. A lot of people say they have like a desire to do something, they're going to carry it out, but you steward the gift, because I know it's not enough just to have the gift. You got to take the time. You got to put into it, and you do that. You have honored that gift. So that's so funny that like you do it, you get up there, you can't help it, like you're built for it, but then you get off and it's like, oh my God, did that just happen? Yes. So what would you say to that person that's out there right now? Julie said they have a desire to really get out. They have a desire to share their gift as you have done. What's been that like one or two major keys that have helped you to endure?
I think and that is fire that you said endure, because I have a title track coming this month called Endure. So be looking out for
We're
that.
here. We're always here.
So good. That is so good. But I think boldness, authenticity needs to come first, and just being true to yourself and staying true with, who you serve. And I think the direction that you have spiritually and also naturally goes hand in hand. And so don't forsake those two things. They walk just like, two legs. So I think that's the advice that I would give that person that's trying to do what they want to do. So
I agree. So this is another moment where I told you about Finish. I wrote a book, Finish. We just said Endure. We're just here. We're here right now.
We're all here.
Yeah. So I want to hand the mic over to Constance, because you have done something in the wake of this time during lockdown, shutdowns. Many people are going through rough times. And I'm laughing because my father said he was driving through one of the communities that have been affected by your movement. Shout out to the major city of Coast City outside of New Bern, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And he saw so many women. He was like, I don't know what's going on. And he just started naming them. But everybody is out there walking. And I said, let me tell you what's going on. Constance Witherspoon is going on. So you started this Walk It Out movement, and it is a movement. Where did you get the idea, the thought that you weren't just going to do it for yourself, but you invited others along for the ride?
Well, before everything started happening with the COVID and everything, I was walking at work. Me and some of the ladies at work, we would go and walk on our breaks. We'd go walk at lunch, and we had a little thing going, a little rhythm. And so after that fact, my grandbaby was born that first weekend of March 14th. And that's when everything started to shut down. Nobody was going back to work. I was giving to take some time off to be with her anyway. But then, everything shut down. And so I was like, I cannot sit down. I got to keep walking, because I know that you can become so comfortable just because they say you can't go, you can become so comfortable. And I said, no, I can't do this. I can't sit down. I got to walk. And I had my little gadget, because my gadget is like, it's a motivator. You need to stay on top of it. But, it just came to me, to start this, like, I'm just going to put this out there. I almost didn't. I said, April the 1st, I'll do it. And I almost didn't put this out there, see if I can get people to just start moving. Just moving. Because if you're sitting there and you're just eating and you're looking at TV, you can't go anywhere. You can't go shopping. You can't go to the gym. And they're real big about the gym out here. And so, they go to the gym before they go to church. I'm sorry, but sometimes
where you're at, Constance, because you're in California. So when she says out here, they have to have that beach body going on the West.
Yeah, honey. Yeah, it's about image, But at the same time, I saw it as a thing where I didn't want to see people suffer. down through the years, you see people suffer because of health. I'm not a big guru or anything. I've been, in sports and stuff like that. But the walking, I used to didn't want to walk. I used to didn't like walking. But when I started with that group, it's like I just had this drive to just keep walking, and I felt better. And so I said, I'm just going to put this out there and see if people, would gravitate. And lo and behold, people started picking it up. I mean, picking it up. They were picking it up. People come in. They love the encouragement. And that's what it's basically about, to encourage, to, enlighten, to, bring people to a different place when it comes to thinking about health and movement, because movement is important. If we just sit all the time, it's not good. Even at work, I have a stand-up desk because I don't like to sit all day. So I have a stand-up desk where I can elevate and stand and do my work. So it's just like movement to me is just like really critical now.
Well, there was one thing that you just said that I want to wind back, because you said something powerful. You said you did not feel like doing it. You set a date and then you were like, I don't know if I'm going to do this. And we do that a lot. And sometimes that's how some of us miss our biggest breakthroughs, biggest blessings, just by not being obedient. When that still small voice tells you to do something. So, Constance, I want you to look directly into the camera. I want you to speak to that person that right now they've had a thought, and it's those kind of thoughts coming up against what they need to do. What if it doesn't work? What if it's too hard? All of those things. What would you say to that person that's in that same place right now?
I would say go for it. I would say do it. It came to you for a reason. There's a purpose why the idea came to you, why God gave you the idea. And it's not just for you. It's for somebody else. Somebody needs it. I don't care if it's one person. Somebody needs what you have to offer. So please don't hold back. Don't think about what someone say. Don't think about what somebody's not going to say. Don't think about who's going to join you or who's going to, get on board or who's not. Don't think about it, because God is the rewarder. As long as you are obedient, he will reward you for what you're doing, because you listen to him. He'll give you everything you need, all the support you need, everything. You just be obedient and go for it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't think about it twice. Just do it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna slide this new thing. Now, I showed y'all this, and this is not a shameless plug. Notice I didn't tell you how to order it or anything, but I want to talk about this concept of finishing, because a lot of times we can get in that place where Constance just mentioned. And when I wrote that book, Finish, I wrote it in one day. I was in a really a place of just stuck, because my mom was sick. It was just so much going on that it's like things coming from every side. You can't even figure out where to start. And so it's a lot of times we'll find ourselves praying for that next big opportunity. Like, well, look, God, if you can just bring me shiny objects, something new, just dump the blessing on my rooftop.
I need a sign.
And let me skip the rest of this pain and challenge. And when I wrote that book, the message that I got loud and clear was stop looking for something else and steward what you have. Because until you take care of what's already in your hands, you're looking for something that you're never going to be able to grab hold of. You're trying to jump to step 15 when all that you're required of today is to finish what's in your hands. So I'm going to pull this up because, like I told y'all, me and Julius, I don't know how we just been so same wavelength. You have another song, Fight to the Finish. And so I actually wanted to just talk. I want to talk a little bit about that from both of you. When you hear the word finish, what does that mean to you? And Julius, tell us a little bit about that song and the meaning of it.
So, I'm a big basketball guru. I'm a big basketball fan. And I originally heard a different beat on one of the videos or whatever, and I was like, I want to make a song. I want to do a song that talks about fighting to the finish. And going to another sport, when you're talking about boxing, it's almost like when you get that feeling where you're about to go to the ring and you about to rumble with the opponent or whatever. And I think about life like that, because life can kind of
throw you some,
throw you some jabs or whatever. And you got to have that confidence to be like, okay, I'm not going to let this overtake me. I'm not going to let this situation or these circumstances overtake me. I'm going to endure. I'm going to endure, and I'm going to fight to the finish.
This is so, and I know y'all are probably watching this and you're thinking like, Julius is every bit of 98 years old with all this wisdom. He said it, and then you remember like, man, he hadn't even been on the earth for like that many decades. You just be dropping these knowledge bombs. So I know you've been raised by the best, your mother, your grandmother. And so that's what I want to talk about with you, Constance. When we think about finishing, I think about legacy. I think about when people come in contact with you, what do you want them to leave with? If there was, you've already laid out an incredible legacy, but what are those things that you would hope that people would leave with, anyone that comes into contact with you?
I think the word is endurance. To be able to push through situations and circumstances, to be able, because it hasn't been easy for it hasn't been easy for a lot of people, but I can say for my life it has not been easy. And you just have to stay focused on the prize and just push through. I mean, rely on God. God's gonna bring us through, but we have to move. We have to move, and we got to do our part. We have to meet him. And it's a partnership, and you can't do it without him. But you can do it, but you need to do it with fervency. You need to do it and push your way through. And you can make it through anything. I mean, I've seen some situations I thought I wouldn't ever come through, but I can look at the next person. I'm saying, Lord, please forgive me, because what they're going through is nothing compared. What I'm going through is nothing compared to what they're going through. And so, in turn, you got to be ready to pray and ready to, come in agreement with them and lay aside your little stuff, So yes. Just endure, come through, because somebody's dependent on you. They're looking at your life, and, you can build, they can build, they can build again. Even after this COVID, you can build again. Don't let anything stop you.
It's good.
This is so good. So if you're watching right now, there's a privilege to watching live, because we do live giveaways, and we have, like I said, a giveaway that happens today. You can get a free workout in Royal Fitness Studios just by commenting, and I'm going to do that giveaway in just a second. But before we get to the giveaway, it's just been this underlying message with both of you, that resiliency, endurance, obedience. And so that's what I want to leave with. I'm going to share just a little message. And I was kind of sharing this with you all prior to our interview, where we're in this season, and I'm not, I can't speak for everyone else, but I just feel that a lot of people are in a season right now where ideas are coming to them. Vision is coming to them. Things that they have been working on for years. And now it's like, it's all clicking. It's all making sense. Mm-hmm. And in those moments, it's tempting to think it's not going to work because it didn't work last time. And you just said, build, Constance. Mm-hmm. You said build again. So I want to speak to that. This is my final question for both of you. Y'all are like, I don't know if you've ever been to Shirley Caesar's church before her husband passed away, where they would tag in and tag and rotate the mic and everything. That's what y'all just did. Julius, it's a partnership. So I want you to tag team this answer. But has there been a time where you put something down? Maybe it was just not the season for it, but when you picked it up again, it actually ended up working out. So what would you, have you experienced that? And what would you say to someone that's afraid to revisit the vision because it didn't work out before?
I would just say, just go for it. I mean, I've said it before, just go for it. Take it up. It's given to you for you, but it's also given to you for someone else. It's given to you to carry out. God saw fit to call you to do this particular thing because you have the ability to carry it out. And it's not only going to cause you to prosper and cause you to have joy, it's going to cause somebody else. It's not all about us, but God saw something in us that he could use us to do what needs to be done. Don't let it lay dormant. Whatever it is, don't sweep it under the rug. Don't put it under the cover. Don't dig it. Don't dig a hole and put it in the ground. Use what God has given you.
And then I would say, and I think in my life recently, I have gotten over the feeling of being intimidated and being kind of like, I don't know, feeling like I'm less than. And so like God has kind of rekindled that fire of, you know, leadership in me to kind of like, you know, just come up a little, get that executive mindset, and just like, you know, you have dominion. He said you have dominion. So like, just call those things that be not as though they were, you know? So I'm kind of picking up, you know, leadership, and, you know, stop laying dormant, and, you know, just pick up that mantle and just run. And a lot of people will see that and come after you and take that same role. So
I agree with everything that you just said. Because one of the things that I've been talking about a lot lately is that feeling that we're not worthy enough, that feeling that we can be surrounded by so many people doing amazing things, and we think that we're the exception to the rule. Like how you just said, it was you're up there with Molly Music. You are doing all of these incredible things. Constance, you have started a international movement at this point. And sometimes we can be in the position and not even realize like you're in that position because that's where you're at right now. Like, and we still carry ourselves as if we're still trying, like still trying to carry it out, still waiting. And what happens usually when we're in that place is complaining, or we're pleading with God, please God, give me the opportunity. And it's like, if we just pause and do exactly what I've pointed out that you both have done, take care of what's in your hands. Because you're already in the position that you're supposed to be in to maximize it. So as we wrap up, I swear I could talk to every single person that's been on this show today for like 2 more hours. What is the best way that we can support what you're doing, get connected with you? And if you have any final thoughts, you know, feel free to share.
If you want to get in touch with me, go to my website, juliuswitherspoonmusic.com. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram handle is Jules Spoon Music. That's JULESSPOON Music. And Facebook, Julius Witherspoon Music. All right.
And as far as Walk It Out, you can go to Walkin, that's WALKIN, itout.com. And that will lead you to my page on Facebook, Walk It Out. You could come and join, just be a part of this big community of people that is encouraging each other to get up and move. We want everybody healthy. We want everybody happy. That's what it's all about. You never know who needs encouragement of any kind. So that's what it's all about. So please come join us.
So if Aaron, if you're good to come back on, we're going to do the quick giveaway and the show is wrapping up. So I'm going to bring Aaron, who was our guest earlier. Aaron is doing some amazing things, like I said, in education. Julius and Constance is here. It's so funny. My daughter's name is Constance too. So I feel.
I just followed you guys, by the way.
Respect on it. Oh, yes. So we're going to pull up a winner. The winner, we're actually going to give 3 passes away to those of you who are watching live. So I'm going to call your name out. If you're watching live right now, you have approximately 10 seconds to comment so that we can see your name and give you your gift. So if y'all can help me, I just need some drum rolls up here. Julius, Constance, Aaron, our first winner, your name's about to come up to the screen. Marnetta Lynn Boomer, congratulations. You just won a pass in the Mother's Day class of Royal Fitness Studios. Our next winner, if we can drum roll it. She said amen, and we're saying hallelujah. Congratulations. Geneva Sanders, you just won a pass in Royal Studios. It pays to be live. You can join me weekdays right here at Erica Empowers to find out. I just want to pull this up with our next winner, Dante Martin Duffy, that says that sweatshirt is clean. I love it. Yes. So I just want to say a big thank you. Hello to Paxton. I think that's Paxton that you're holding right now, Aaron. Thank you to everyone that tuned into today's show. If this encouraged you, tell a friend, tag a trailblazer, keep the watch parties going. You can stay connected with me across social media at Erica Empowers. That's Erica spelled like America. And as I'm always telling you, go out and make today amazing, because it is absolutely a choice. Thanks for watching.